Howdy folks, Pat Brumma here. I'm going to do a little knife review on a Cold Steel Rajah 2. I've been trying to e.d.c this knife for the last week or so, and got some good points and some bad points on it. I'm just going to go over the knife here a little bit first. As you can see by the ruler, this is a petite little knife. It's not a very large knife. It's for people who like little knives. I'm speaking tongue-in-cheek here. Anybody that knows me knows I like a big knife. I know I'm going to get a certain amount of comments about overcompensation, blah, 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 whatever. A big knife is just more capable when you got big work to do. Anybody who doesn't believe that hasn't played with a knife very much, apparently. There we go. Give you an idea there compared to the ruler. I'll set him on top. As you can see, he's not a little knife. Alright, let's do the tail of tape on him real quick. Shout out to my video friend Hisatsu5. I've watched a lot of your videos and love them all, and just kind of motivated me to try one myself, so here we go. The Cold Steel Rajah 2, you can get it on Amazon for about $89. Knives Town, I think it's about $99. It measures in, well, crap, my notes were showing, 8 inches closed. It's 13, that's a pretty big pocket filler. She's 13.5 inches when it's open. It's got a 6-inch blade with a 5 3/4 inch cutting surface, which is the icky part from here to the tip that got my thumb there earlier. I always manage to feed my knives with my own self first. Okay, the blade is 5 mil thick at the spine, which is 1 mil thicker than my X2 Voyager or my Spartan or most of my other cold steel folders. Blade steel is AUS 8. I like AUS 8. I know a lot of people call it low end, but really it sharpens super fast and easy. It holds an edge pretty darn well, reasonably well, and it's pretty rust resistant. Now, when Cold Steel put this bead blast finish on, unfortunately that rough surface makes them rust a little easier. Haven't had any problems with it, but I haven't been swimming with it in my pocket either. Cold Steel claims they've had a lot of requests for that. I think it's saves money over putting a full polish on them. It does have a full flat grind as opposed to the usual grind that Cold Steel puts, a hollow grind, and a lot of people like that better for chopping and woodwork. I like it too. My SEs, my fixed blades all have that. What I didn't like was the bevel. Whatever they use for a factory bevel, it just didn't cut as well as the Cold Steel's factory sharpening jobs usually do for me, so I used my Lansky and I put a 25-degree per side, which is a lot steeper than I normally like. I like something around a 20, honestly, or lower if it's not going to be a hard use knife. More like a razor blade or a scalpel, but with a fine diamond edge finish on it, it's a nice toothy edge, and it bites well. It'll shave, it'll do the paper slicey thing, which I can't do when I'm holding my camera phone in one hand. It's kind of a folding kukri, and I've always been a big fan of kukris for chopping. It's a nasty knife. It's got enough of a point there that you could use it for poking things if you were so inclined. Tactical, utility, woods, not quite sure what they had in mind, but to me it covers all that. Downside, I guess, I don't like the bead blast, and I don't like how far they mounted this pocket clip down. We're not supposed to have any knives here at work, and that is a lot. That's just a lot of area. Put a ruler to it here. You know, you got, holy crap, you got a good 1.5 inches of handle sticking out above the pocket clip. I'm going to fix that by removing it, and it's already coming loose a little bit here. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can hold this in a manner which you can see that. You know, it's already wiggling. I think it's just because there's no texturing on this. The screws aren't loose. It's just, it can slide around some. So I'm going to re-drill and tap up here, mount it clear up near the top. I'll use a little epoxy when I do to keep everything nice and tight. And that'll solve that problem. Otherwise, I've enjoyed it. It makes me feel really confident carrying this knife. I'm hard-pressed to have anybody ever attack me with a knife bigger or sharper than this is, certainly in a folding one. So I like it in terms of an EDC defense blade. Downside, my previous lifetime favorite, 10 years or more EDC, was the X2 Voyager, which also has a 6-inch blade, and the old lock style, and a VG1 blade, which I really like the VG1. Um, it's still handier. It's a lot lighter than this knife. The full steel liners, where my Voyager has no liners with the Zytel handles, still plenty stiff. Still no play in the blade after a million years of flipping it, and I don't throw it or abuse it, but I do use the hell out of it. When I do a video on that, you'll be able to tell by looking at the battle damage on the blade. It's not been babied. This just feels big when I draw it out of my pocket. The wave feature here, it works, but due to the extreme length of this, it doesn't work nearly as slick as it does on my Spartan. And it feels like it's more difficult to get out of my pocket to use for opening a pack of cheese slices, for instance, like I did earlier today. It just feels overkill, so I tend to use it less. My Spartan or my Voyager, I just whip it out for any little thing, and it just seems easier to deploy and put back in. And I don't know if that's reality or just my perception. Overall, I like it a lot. I think if you put in the materials that they use, the steel, the grind, the price of the thing, and the overall value, I'm going to give it on my 10 scale of value at $89 off the price point on Amazon. I'm going to give it a 9. I think it's a really good knife, and if somebody out there wants a large folding kukri, this is the only way to go that I've ever seen, let alone I can't think of any better ones. It's compared to the walkie here, you can see it's got some size, compared to my phone here, it's not little. So if you need a knife to do the nasty, this one would be well suited for it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's not very professional, and neither am I, so that kind of fits. If you want to make a comment, feel free to, and I'll do a couple others in the future on a couple other knives that I typically EDC, and maybe some other things I EDC. You just never know. Thanks for watching. Pat Bromley, out here.